If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and tap the like button. Your support keeps us telling the stories that often go untold, the kind that start quietly, then echo for a lifetime. I could have walked away that day, pretended I hadn't seen, hadn't heard, hadn't felt the air shift around me. But I didn't. Because in that one, heart-stopping moment when truth slipped out from the shadows, I understood my life would never return to what it had been before. And if I'm being honest, painfully honest, I wasn't just a witness. I was a part of it. I had opened the door, even if I didn't realize it then. I had let the silence grow roots. And when I still had the chance to stop it, I didn't. This is a story about betrayal. The kind that doesn't begin with lies, but with quiet. A story of boundaries fading so slowly, you hardly notice until there's nothing left between you but distance and denial. From the outside, we were everything people envied. Calm, composed, accomplished. A house that gleamed, a marriage that looked unshakable. But behind that polished veneer lived a silence that wasn't peaceful. It was cold. It was the kind of silence that grows teeth. It lived in the way he avoided my eyes when I spoke. In the nights we shared a bed, but not warmth. In the birthdays that came wrapped in ribbons and emptiness. That silence had been swallowing us for years. And it was in that silence that everything began to unravel. It was an ordinary Tuesday, the kind that comes and goes unnoticed until it doesn't. I was dusting the shelves, lost in thought, when I heard it, a sound upstairs, faint, repetitive, almost innocent. But something in it pulled at me, like a whisper daring me to look closer. At first, I told myself to ignore it, to stay busy. But curiosity has a pulse of its own. It starts as a murmur and grows louder until it drowns reason. Against every instinct, I climbed the stairs. The air up there felt heavier, charged, expectant, as if the walls were holding their breath. The sound sharpened as I neared the guest room, a room that had once been extra space. Only now, it wasn't extra. It belonged to someone else. The door was slightly ajar, a thin blade of light cutting through the dim hallway. My hand hovered. Knock or retreat? Then I saw it. Not just the light, but words. Words glowing on a screen. Private. Unmistakably intimate. My breath caught. My pulse stuttered. I shouldn't have seen them. They weren't meant for me. In that instant, the ground beneath my life shifted. The house, the walls, the years, all of it tilted, fragile, unfamiliar. He looked up. His eyes widened. Shock, fear, guilt, raw and visible. For a heartbeat, the silence between us became a living thing. It pressed in, dense and unrelenting. I should have spoken, but I froze. His face flushed, shame and panic colliding. He tried to hide the screen, but it was useless. The damage was done. Our eyes met, and in that look, everything we'd avoided finally surfaced. Guilt, confusion, a strange, dangerous pull neither of us could name. My mouth opened, but words broke apart before they formed. A half-hearted apology stumbled out. For seeing, for knowing, for existing in that moment. His reply came jagged, defensive, desperate. And then came the silence. But this time, it wasn't the old silence. It was charged, electric, heavy with things neither of us dared to say. I backed away, my hand brushing the cold wall as I steadied myself. My heart was racing, my thoughts scattering like glass. Why hadn't I just turned around? Why did part of me feel that what had just happened wasn't an ending, but a beginning? That evening, we sat across from each other at the dinner table. The absence of my husband wasn't unusual. Another late night at work, Another excuse swallowed whole. The clinking of forks was louder than conversation. He watched me. I could feel it. The weight of his stare, the unspoken question hanging between us. I kept my gaze low, tracing the rim of my plate, pretending not to notice. Neither of us spoke. It wasn't the silence of strangers. It was the silence of two people bound by something they couldn't admit. A secret pulsing quietly beneath the table between us. And in that silence, something irreversible began to take root. Something neither of us would be able to contain.